Can you introduce yourself?
Good morning. Good morning, viewers. I am called Dr. Grace Waguma, and I am the director of the National Curriculum Development Center. I'm so delighted to be participating in the teachers' celebration this year because the teachers play a central role in implementing the curriculum that we develop. And I'm so happy that the teachers have embraced the new lower secondary curriculum and they are doing a good job. They are trying to understand it and interpret it in the manner in which we want. And I think it will go a long way in producing a kind of learner that we want, a holistic learner who has values, who has a formed character, who has skills for survival, but also skills for job creation. One of the problems this country had been battling with was the issue of employment. Children were getting out of the education system without getting the kind of jobs that they wanted. The curriculum was meant to address that by creating a child who is a critical thinker, who is an innovator, but who is also creative and able to add value to himself and to the country at large. Thank you for listening to me.
Well, before we let you go, when you look at the international theme which talks about the teachers we need for the education we want, based on what you are cooking as those in charge of drawing the curriculum of our country, how best can you reply to these two needs, the teachers we need and for the education we want?
Of course, the teachers we have currently are emerging from what we call the traditional methods, the traditional way of teaching. And we are now asking them to emerge, which they have done so well, towards a 21st century teacher. That's the teacher who has a facilitation skills. Because we are saying, the children should participate in the learning. They have the knowledge that they add on. So we want a facilitator, but we want a teacher who has the new emerging learner-centered pedagogies. And some of the emerging pedagogies include wisdom pedagogies and pedagogies that are helping learners to become critical thinkers, but also to develop wisdom as learners. And to be able to do that, the teacher has changed from what it has been to a new kind of teacher. And we know that they are transiting towards that. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Madam, for your precious time. You can take up your seat. We shall at least, if we need you, we shall get you back. Well, that is what she manages to share with us in line with the curriculum. We know the theme of today's celebrations here, not only in Uganda, but world over, is putting emphasis on that teacher we need for the education we want. But then there is that global imperative of the teacher shortages. So we shall be getting this discussion from different stakeholders in the education sector to give us the bright analysis of what exactly do we need to put right for our country to thrive when it comes to the profession of teaching and education at large. With me is one of the guests from different sections of Uganda Professional Sciences Union. Wow, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah.
How do you feel, first of all, to be in Kororo, to be part of this year's celebrations for the teachers?
I feel humbled because this is a big function and the category of people being recognized are the pillars of national development. So if I'm part of this celebration, I feel we are celebrating the engine of national development. Yeah. And I'm happy that even we've chosen the right theme. The teachers we want for the education we need. I'm a teacher personally, and I'm the Deputy General Secretary, Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. But to us, we believe no country is greater than its education system. If you want to improve the way things are running in any country, you improve education system, because it is the teacher that produces the people who are going to engineer those things that are going to move the country to the next level. If you want a lawyer, create good teachers to teach the good lawyers. If you want a good engineer, create the good teachers to teach the engineers. And that's why we are saying the teachers we want for the education we need. We've had issues of unemployment. I don't know whether you've noticed this, that if the country suffers from unemployment, the blame goes to the education system, because it is not producing the right people to do the work that is right for the country to move forward. That's why people are being produced by universities, but they end up without what? Without jobs. It means the training they got is not the right, the relevant skill that the country needs.
You talk of the training. Let me take you to the point. Currently, or even recently, the government indicated that they have phased out the primary teachers' colleges and NTCCs.
Yes.
Was this a widely consulted decision?
Thank you. That is a good one. But I want us to, when you go back to the history of education, these institutions were not there, but they were just initiated in the 6 cities after the expulsion of the colonialists. So as they were leaving, they said, we are leaving behind these people with no educators. So what can we do? Let's have teacher training institutions, let's have NTCs, because they needed just somebody to fill the vacuum. But after 60 years, we are still feeling the vacuum. I think it is ripe for us to move to the next level, where we are going to have real teachers for the real quality of products that we need as a country.
What do you mean by real teachers, and where are we going to get them from?
That's why we are saying teachers go to the university. When they go, because they are phasing out the other one to come up with what we are calling Uganda National Institute of Teacher Education, the UNITE you are hearing. And this UNITE is targeting impacting skills. I don't know whether you've learned that we've changed the curriculum from the old curriculum to a new curriculum, which new curriculum is actually skill-based. We want to produce people with skills that are right. Actually, when you go to the developed world, people are not learning to get degrees, but they are learning to get the skills. And these skills are going to be used. Like, I want to tell you, let me ask you a question. Someone who has constructed this, does he require a degree?
Yes or no?
He may need a degree, but most importantly, he needs the skill to assemble the different metals to come up with a tent where people can do what? Can sit. And this is where the education is moving. So it is very good a decision to move from the old to now a new and relevant one.
But when you look into our theme of today, there's that word teacher shortage. Are we moving towards bridging this shortage?
Thank you. I think it is on this note that I want to thank the President for the visionary leadership. Because teacher shortage, before, when we had just graduated as teachers, the teacher was the lowest earner in the country, and everybody would marginalize, would underlook a teacher. So the President, in his wisdom, and the committee, plus unions like the one I represent, Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union, we sat and devised mechanism of enhancing the salary of the teacher. Today, as we speak, a science teacher is getting 4 million shillings. By then, he used to get 600,000 shillings. And even if it were you would run from the teaching profession to where they are the so-called greener pastures. So by enhancing the salaries of people, we are trying to solve the problem of teacher shortage. And I want to call upon the President, still in his wisdom, to consider our colleagues in the arts section, so that the education sector can move together. So we can train good teachers and also retain. We have the train and retain policy, where we have our good quality and we retain the good quality to produce the good products.
Well, thank you. You can take up your seats. Thank you so much for your precious time. Well, that is a gentleman from the Union of the Science who is also giving us what we must also put into consideration, that there is a lot which needs to change if we are to push forward the future of our education system. The lady earlier on, as you heard, she did maintain and put an emphasis that there is need to improve or change the curriculum to fit on the current demands. And as like you have heard, the innovations coming in the teaching profession, it doesn't necessarily need you to wake up from, like some of us, we are trained teachers. We walked up from any level of education we had. We moved to the National Teachers College and PTCs. We were trained as grade-free teachers, diploma and degrees. And at the end of the day, we found ourselves in classrooms. But you find that with the trends today, we know we cannot fit into the demands of the society. We need to go an extra mile to ensure ensure that for those people we are going to teach, we must be in position to shape their future and to at least brighten their future in terms of the skills and knowledge we impact in them. And with me is the State Minister here for Primary Education, Honorable Joyce Moriku Kaduchu. Wow. Good morning, Honorable Minister.
Good morning. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Are you a teacher?
I was a trained teacher. When things were not moving on well, I found myself where I am today, and I can report I'm comfortable.
Thank you.
But I'm a grade 3 teacher who trained in lower classes. I taught in P1, P2 up to P4.
That is good.
Wow. Nice to see you, Honorable
Nice to
Minister.
see you.
It is a Teacher's Day.
Yes, it's
What's
a
the
Teacher's
current
Day.
hope?
Today is a day dedicated as the International Teachers Day. It's a day that all of us should really appreciate our teachers for their dedicated services. It's a day that we should show love to our teachers. It's a day that we should cherish our teachers. And our teachers are our heroes. Those are the first heroes we have. So on such a day, I really want to thank our teachers wholeheartedly for the service they have given to the nation. The nation is because we are as teachers. They have sacrificed, they have committed their life to serve our people, to ensure that the human capital development in this country is deeply rooted because of their service. And for that matter, today we are saying thank you, dear teacher.
But as government, are you moving to address the challenges, which automatically pushes some of us who are trained away from this profession to go and look for greener pastures?
No, but look here. This is 21st century. And the 21st century come along with all the ingredient what it takes to be called a 21st century. And we want our teachers to be that 21st century teachers. A teacher who is has all the knowledge, is digital, in terms of digital agenda, he is the focus, the focal point person. In terms of knowledge, that is the teacher. In terms of innovation, creativity, that is the teacher. So, yes, we are moving to the reform agenda as Ministry of Education and Sports. As you can see, there are quite a number of reforms we've brought on table. One is the reforming the profession. We want the profession to be standardized. We want a profession that, look, we can say this is a standardized profession. This is a profession that we can regulate. This is a profession where teachers, if some of them did not do well, they can be disciplined. And that calls upon that we must embrace some of the things which may not be, people may not like it. One of them is the academic career. We must have sound teachers with a solid academic background in terms of progressing in the academic field. And also, we must have the Teacher Council, the National Teachers Council that regulate the profession. So that is where we are moving. And this come along with the curriculum. The curriculum has been reformed, a curriculum that is of 21st century. So we have reformed the teaching profession, we are reforming the curriculum, we are also seeing to it the welfare of the teachers is really taken as a key critical area. That's why the president said, look, let's start with the teachers, the science teachers. We enhance their salary. Does not mean that we have neglected the arts teacher. These are all our teachers, we cherish them, they are precious to us. We move in a phased manner to the arts teacher and ensure that nobody is left behind. The enhancement will cover everybody. And after that, we are saying, look, we need our teachers to live in a better environment. Can we look at the accommodation of the teachers, which is something that we are discussing? Can we promote our teachers? Can we ensure that the welfare of our teachers is looked in a holistic manner? We are speaking about the largest human resource in this country. These are the teachers. No other sector has got more human resource like education. And for that matter, we are moving systematically, well coordinated in a phased manner. If we don't, we crash.
Well, Honourable Minister, as we transition, as you rightly put it, there is these challenges we need to address, and are you putting attention to them? We talk of the teacher absenteeism. you are heading the section which is dealing with the primary education. And this is where the vice is beginning from. Many teachers are not appearing for duty on a daily basis.
When you are in this world, you can live, I can assure you, there is nothing that comes on your table without any challenge. Challenge is part of life. Your leadership ability is demonstrated on the way how you handle the challenges. For us as ministry, the way we handle the challenges is how you can grade us, or how you can define our managerial position. Yes, there are challenges of absenteeism, there are challenges of many other challenges in the sector, but I can tell you, I can assure you with authority that the Ministry of Education has put in place measures to mitigate that challenges. We have the teller, and I'm sure one of the staff have told you about it. This is a system that has been put in place to monitor the presence and the act in class, whether the teacher is really present or what the teacher does, because it's a system that is using mobile phone. Now we have everywhere. You have to clock in. Even in private sector, you clock in, when you go, you clock out. That is the same system we really want to introduce, and we've started. We are very optimistic that is going to reduce the cases of absenteeism. You may ask me, a teacher can clock in and go away and come after and go away. There is the issue of supervision. There is the issue of looking at what you teach, what you do. Looking at the outcome, the performance, that's another component. So I can assure you that we've put in place system to mitigate those challenges. We have the IMIS, the digital enrollment of the learners in the system, digital system, that will tell us exactly how many learners do we have, how are the learners progressing from level 1 to the level 7, are there dropouts, at what stage, are there transfer in and out? So that should be able to give us authority on how many learners, how they are performing, and can inform policy so that we go in the right direction and we achieve our desired goal.
Good morning, Honorable Minister.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Well, that is the State Minister for Primary Education, Joyce Moriku Kadichu, giving us a very elaborative insight on what exactly we are yearning for and heading for as a country. Here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds, I told you earlier, this is this year's International Teachers' Day celebrations, and shortly we shall be receiving His Excellency, the Head of State, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, whom we understand will be moving or will be accompanied by the Minister for Education and Sports, who is also the First Lady, Mama Janet Kataha Museveni. The preparations here at Kololo are at a right level to go, and shortly when the President gets in here, we shall officially kick off this year's celebrations. And let us continue with our interactions with already the delegates who are here to represent different regions, different institutions, different levels of academic excellence, and the general public. I'm joined here with a gentleman donning a Uganda flag with Uganda 50, that is an independence. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can we know your names and where you're coming from?
My name is Vincent Long, the National Chairperson, Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union.
Mr. Vincent, we have had guests who have elaborated well about this year's theme, which says the teacher we need for the education we want. How do you understand the craft of this theme?
The teachers we need, first of all, I want to say that the quality of teachers determine how far a nation will develop. And I think this theme is spot on, because there is no nation that can grow beyond the quality of the education system. And the quality of education system is determined by the quality of the teachers. And I think this is one of the best themes so far. We are looking at the 21st century skills in imparting learners, imparting the knowledge to learners. And we are blessed that just 3 years ago, Minister of Education rolled out the new lower curriculum, which is supposed to be skill-based and with a lot of innovation. And as I can say, we as Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union, we represent all science teachers, tutors and instructors in Uganda. We already come up with the innovation from new lower curriculum. And today there is going to be exhibition. There are 5. And one of it is from Entebbe SS. They have produced electrical motorcycle. They are going to be displaying it, and that was done by the students of senior 1 to senior 3, not by the teachers, and many other products. And that is showing us the quality of the teachers. We want to thank Minister of Education for the investment they are putting in teachers, especially skilling them and training them.
Just on that same point, when you seem to be focusing more on innovations, where does this leave this child or pupil who is basing his or her knowledge into the arts formation? Are you accommodating him in class or her?
The new curriculum embraces all subjects. There is a transition now. The curriculum we have been using is something of independence. It is outdated. And I think the Minister of Education is spot on. They have revised it right now. Take for example entrepreneurship. The students are taken out to learn how to do business. And once they get out of this education system, they will not be job seekers. They have already acquired a skill on how to survive, even when they have not given them formal employment. So I think it cuts across. It cuts across.
As we celebrate this year's International Teachers' Day, we have seen in the past, with all what government is doing to ensure that there is a conducive working environment for teachers, but we have seen year in, year out strikes. What best suggestion can you give us, or even to the nation, to those who are watching, that this is the best way to go? As in terms when government is doing its role of aligning the system, then we need to move with this and that on board.
As representatives of teachers, we look at the general welfare of teachers, because one of the things that globally there has been a declining demotivation coming from different actors, demotivation to teachers. And there is a way society has developed teachers. They think teachers don't deserve. So for us, we appeal for the general welfare of teachers, because once a teacher is settled at home, then he can deliver the best education in school.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent, for that little time you have shared with us. We are continuing with the live proceedings of this year's Teachers' Day celebrations here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds in the capital city, Kampala. And as you have heard from different speakers, they all agree that indeed time has come. We need to transition from the old format of education system to change to that which will accommodate the demands of the current world, and that is what they are trying to emphasize, that as a country, if we move on in that line where we all agree that skill-based education is the best approach to what we need to give to our young boys and girls, then the future is bright. This is Robert Onyango, and we are still on UBC TV. Understand we are also having the same feed on our sister TV, that is Star TV. Era bandafu abatulaba mu lulimi oluganda olwo abatutegeera obulungi tusinziira wano ku kisaawe kya Mefuga e Kololo okutusaako mikolo egy'okujaguza olunaku lw'abasomesa wano mu ggwanga Uganda. Omulamwa gw'omwaka guno gusinze kwetooloolera ku butya bwe tusobola okufuna omusomesa amanya omusomesa gwe twetaagira ddala okusobola okulaba nti atutuusa ku kigendererwa kyaffe eky'ebyenjigiriza bye tusinga okwetaaga ng'eggwanga. Naye omulamwa era gulinako n'okwekuba ekitono ennyo, balinako engeri gye bagezaako okwebuuza nti naye ebbula ly'abasomesa linatusobozesa okutuukiriza ekyo kye twagala. Kale awo nno we tusinzidde okubanga twogerezeganyaamu n'abamu ku baatuuse edda wano e Kololo nga bwe tulindirira omukulembeze w'eggwanga gwe tulowooza nti tajja kutambula yekka, ajja kutambula ne maama w'eggwanga lino era minisita avunaanyizibwa ku byenjigiriza Janet Kataha Museveni. Bw'anaaba atuuse ffe tujja kuwaayo obutereevu okugoberera byonna ebinaaba bigenda mu maaso wano mu kisaawe e Kololo. We are joined with the guests as we continue our discussion about the theme and the celebrations, and with me here is Jennifer Kalule Musamba, the official spokesperson of the Uganda Examinations Board, UNEB. You are very much welcome to this platform.
Amen. Thank you so much. A very good morning. Is it good morning or afternoon? Good morning to all our dear viewers, and a very good morning to all the teachers. We would like to congratulate all the teachers. This is their day, and as a board, we celebrate the teachers very much because they are responsible for preparing the learners for us. After preparing them, then we are able to assist them. The teachers do not do their work, then UNEB cannot do their work. So we do join the teachers today to celebrate their day, to congratulate them, and to encourage them to keep going. We appreciate the work that they do. We do appreciate that they do a lot of sacrifices on our behalf, on behalf of the parents, on behalf of this nation. So as UNEB, we are here to celebrate with all the teachers and here to say Happy Teachers Day. Our theme for us this year as we prepare for assessment is integrity and security in the management of examination is a joint responsibility. What we are saying, UNEB has a responsibility, even the teachers have a responsibility, even the parents have a responsibility, and finally, even the candidates and even the media like you. So I want to encourage the teachers to also do their own responsibility. Next week, we are going to be having a briefing session for all the candidates in Senior 4. That's going to be the opening session. So I want to encourage the teachers, the heads of centers, please do your responsibility. Make sure all the learners have been briefed. Take them through the timetable. Take them through the guidelines. Let them know what are some of the things which are going to lead them to be disqualified. Guide them or caution them against being involved in malpractice. Let them not go into the paper with a truck or with some smuggled materials. There are things like tearing off a paper out of an answer sheet. Things like writing using pencil, it can lead you to being disqualified. Like being late, timekeeping is very important. We want to ask all the parents and the teachers, make sure the candidates are by the examination center 30 minutes before the examination begins. If the worst came to the worst, 15 minutes after the beginning of the examination. Short of that, you are likely to be disqualified. So we want to encourage the teachers, the heads of centers, please make sure you do take the learners through the briefing sessions. Take them through all the guidelines, let them know what they should do and what they should not do. And we believe it's going to be very well. Otherwise, I want to say thank you so much. They've been with you all this time. You've been teaching them, you've been preparing them, and we believe if effective teaching and learning has been taking place, then we know there should be no need for examination malpractice. Malpractice will come about in case teachers are not prepared, do not prepare the learners properly. However, if they do prepare them effectively, then we do not have any need for to be scared or to even try and get into malpractice here and there. So we want to thank the teachers very much because we know because of you we are able to assess the learners.
Well, Madam Jennifer, the discussion we are holding in line with the theme, that teacher we need for the education system we want. When you talk with some of these teachers, then you realize they are trying to say time has come, we transition from the independence education system, we move to the current demands, and they are all emphasizing the issue of skills. As the body in charge of examinations, are you also very much ready to go towards that line of where we need to see people or students being taken into studies which are skill-based?
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, because as a board, as UNEB, we come in at the tail end of the system. So the teachers first of all, we have the curriculum, which is set by the National Curriculum Development Center, and then we have the teachers who are teaching the learners. So after that, we will come in to do the assessment, and that is where we are going with the new curriculum. But even with the old curriculum, you find that we have subjects which need coursework results, where they have to do the technical things. Actually, right now, as I speak, we have examinations going on in some subjects like food and nutrition, like technical drawing. These are all skill-based examinations, and we do them, and because we need the practical answers to these, we do them earlier. 2 weeks before the other examinations begin. So right now, as I speak, we have examinations going on for the practical, for the oral and the oral. That is the oral like French, German, Chinese. We're having them going on, and we have the practical, and that's a skill. Many of our people are going to do, are beginning to do, languages. It's a very good skill. Somebody is multilingual, they can be able to do the trading, to do the commerce everywhere. And as a board, yes, we are promoting it, we are supporting it, and we are in support of all the policies of government. Thank you
for your time.
Once again, thank you so much, all the teachers from the Uganda National Examinations Board. On behalf of Mr. Dan Nokrach Odong, we want to say we celebrate you and we wish you all God's blessings. Please help us to ensure that we do not have malpractice in all our centers. Help us to uphold the integrity of the teaching profession and indeed inculcate the same in our learners. Thank you and God bless.
Well, as Madam Jennifer Musamba wraps it up, she is saying for the teachers, we are coming as you name in the coming few weeks, because we understand the examinations at both secondary and primary level are just at the door. So teachers, as you leave these grounds today after the celebrations, you need to organize yourself and ensure that when the time for examinations comes in, you must be prepared to at least give us the best, because we are hoping that when we shape the society from the lower and middle age, we are very sure that the future is bright. I'm joined here by none other than Mr. Chibenge. Yes. Am I right?
Chibenge.
Chibenge. What? I am Soga?
Yes.
Oh, Baba, Okobachi. Oh, webali. Well, let's enjoy this. Now, you come from the Ministry of Gender.
Yes.
One will want to know, first, before even congratulating the teachers, how do the two work together?
The Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, just like the Ministry of Education and Sports, are ministries that contribute to the country's human capital. And under the National Development Plan, we are under a program called Human Capital Development. So we contribute to the country's manpower or human resource that should champion the social, economic transformation of this country. So whichever way you look at it, these are two sister ministries that deal with people. Ministry of Gender, for example, looks at a human being from childhood, looks at issues of the family, the context within which children are nurtured, how they grow, how they develop. By the time education takes them up for formal schooling, for skilling, we'll already have taken care of the context within which these children are born, these children are cared for, are nurtured. The values, the family values start in the home. Actually, someone one time said, there is no better school than the home. There are no better professors than the parents. And that's why they say society is one big classroom, because there are a lot of things that happen outside the walls that constitute a classroom. So education really and gender have a very thin line. Talk about the youth, you'll still find the young people in schools are youth. Talk about the girls, talk about the women. A significant portion of those young people you find in schools are female, are women. So when we discuss issues of gender equality, gender empowerment, skilling, really the line is very thin between Ministry of Education and Sports and Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development.
Well, as you join the hundreds of the teachers who are here at Kololo, you come from the region where I also come from, that is Busoga. For many times, many years, we have led from the tail end in the performance of all levels of education. What do you think is the message you must give to the teachers who are coming here today for this celebration, that when they go back, they must be in position to share with the other people or even the communities they are operating within, in line like to ensure that we upgrade the level of education in our region like Busoga?
Maybe before talking about Busoga as a region, I must congratulate all the teachers. we are all who we are because we've been nurtured, we've gone through the hands of teachers. If they mishandled us, if they misadvised us, if they mismanaged us, many of the people you see today that are contributing severally would have lost them at some point. So that is why a teacher is very important in all our nation building efforts. And that's why some people say that the quality of a country will be assessed or judged from the quality of its education. And the quality of education of a particular country will not be better than the quality of the teachers in that country. So that partly answers the question you're asking. If we want to probe into reasons why region X, region Y may not be doing as well as the other, perhaps that could be one of the reasons. How much are we investing in our teachers? How much are we investing in facilitating and supporting them? There are regions or parts of this country where parents play a supportive role. And when schools draw up programs, because education is a partnership, so when they invite the parents into school to see what the teachers are doing and to see what contribution the parents can make to support the process of education of the children, the teachers will do so much. They'll be able to release these children, whether on holiday or at any agreed point in time. Those children will come back into the homes. Is there any reinforcement that is taking place at home level so that the work that the teacher is doing in school is complemented by the additional bricks that the parent is adding in this construction process? So it's not only about supporting the teachers materially or financially, but it's about taking interest in what happens in school. It is about the parents checking on their children in school, discussing with the teachers if there are identifiable weaknesses, behavioral or otherwise. They are able to fix it together. You don't leave the burden to the teacher alone. So I'm raising these matters in order that whether you are in Busoga, in Karamoja, in Bushenyi, you should be asking yourself that question. How much as a parent am I doing, am I contributing to the process? Actually, there are three players. On the one hand is the parent, on the other is the school, on the other is the child. So if the three are working together, it will tell in the quality of the school, it will tell in the quality of the education, it will tell in the quality of the learners. It is not that you simply dump your child to a teacher, into the hands of a teacher, and you relax. Look at it this way. You have 3 or 4 children to care for. The teacher is given a class with 120 of them. Who has a bigger burden? And who needs help from the other? So, I want us to interrogate the role that we are playing as parents, the role that every player is playing in the Busoga region, in any other region, and see if we see a missing link, a gap somewhere, then that is where we should concentrate our efforts.
Lastly, I know this doesn't entirely fall into your docket, but on several occasions, teachers, especially those who have reached at the retirement age, they face challenges of accessing their benefits. We also have, you have a program in the Ministry of Gender, which is catering for those people above 80 years. There has been a call that the age needs to be at least revised to ensure that at least people are becoming 65 years. The challenge of people failing to access their retirement benefits cuts across all sectors in the country. How are you, as a Minister of Gender, helping to ensure that this should not be a persistent issue to the country?
I think we've gone a long way and covered fairly good ground through the reforms in the public service. Pension has now been decentralized. Decentralized to the local governments for those teachers who are employed at the local government level, and also decentralized to the ministries or entities, government entities, where people that retire have been employed. That in itself has significantly reduced the challenges that people used to face. I think what we need to do is to make sure that the record, the management information system and the data where teachers' information, as indeed that of all other employees of government, where it is kept, it can easily be retrieved so that within 6 months or even less of somebody retiring, you're accessing your benefits. But those retirement benefits, as you've rightly observed, is not what a retiree will survive on. So through the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, we have a program that supports the older persons who have reached 80 years of age. They get some little allowance from government, 25,000 Uganda shillings per month, and this is paid to them monthly. There is a tendency at times to allow it to accumulate up to, but it is for strategic reasons. Because if you get your money for 6 months, that is a whole 150,000. Some of those beneficiaries have actually given testimonies of what they've been able to do with that consolidated package. But they are getting it.
It's a blessing in this.
It is, and some of them actually prefer it that way. So that is one intervention. But also, at the ministry, we received funding from government to set up a grant. Because SAGE, which handles the elderly 80 years and above, will not take care of somebody who has retired at 60 years. We now created a window and have received funding for now 2 financial years to the tune of 5 billion to cater for the 61 to 79 category. These people are accessing money in groups. They come together in groups of 5 to about 10. They apply for these funds, and these are purely grants. They are not the number of empowerment funds that government is putting out. Parish Development Model, Myoga, and all the others. While these others are being borrowed, it's money being given to groups to use and return. The grants for the older persons between 61 and 79 are given free. It is a question of people organizing themselves, and then they will access this between 5 million and above. That is money they can put in an enterprise. That enterprise can grow, because by 61, somebody is still very strong, very resourceful, and we have created that window so that we don't lose that contribution to the economic transformation of our country by writing off people as early as 60 and considering them wasted or retirees.
Thank you, Mr. PS, for that insightful experience. I think we have taken time to go into your docket, but our viewers will excuse us for that because we don't normally get this interaction. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we are still continuing with the live coverage of this year's Teachers' Day celebrations here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds in Kampala, where the President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, we expect him anytime from now. And as I said earlier, as soon as he gets here, we shall kicked off for this year's celebrations. We have been interacting with so many people here, as you might have seen, and they all carry different version on what the discussion is about. And we are trying to delve into what exactly do we need to put on board and to put right if we are to proceed or to achieve what we need as a country through our education system. We have so many times heard people complaining our education system is not training people to be ready for the job market. You find there is a lot of scarcity when it comes to different professionals for different professions. When you do an advertisement for, you need 100 people for specific jobs, you find that an influx of people who come to look or to apply for these jobs are not fit and worth to be given this role. So we are trying to address through the theme of today. We understand that a teacher, as many have said, is the basis, is the foundation of everything we need as a country. If it wasn't for the good teachers some of us went through their hands, we couldn't be standing here as of now. So we want to urge you, our parents who are watching us, back into your sitting rooms, that it is also partly your responsibility to help this teacher. When this child leaves school, is rightly in your hands. You need to play your role as a parent, and when he goes to school, I think the teachers will pick it from where they have you left it as a parent. So with me is a guest who is also going to draw some of the insights as we try to congratulate the teachers upon this milestone of celebrating this year's International Teachers' Day. Good afternoon or good morning, sir?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. The first seems to be familiar. Is it Mr. Tuheo? No?
Mr. Baguma.
Baguma, wow, Philbert. Yes. Well, thank you. Welcome. You are live on UBC TV. First, your congratulations to the teachers across the country.
First of all, I want to wish all the teachers, both in active service and in the senior citizens, and all stakeholders, a happy World Teachers' Day celebration. Yes.
You join us on an event where we are celebrating the Teachers' Day. We understand most of the stakeholders seated into this VIP section on the tent, some have schools, and to your dismay, the education calendar is moving on as we talk of now. Don't you get perturbed that this day is not entirely recognized as we might have wished?
We have, over time, requested His Excellency the President to gazette 5th October as a public holiday in recognition and appreciation of the pivotal role the teachers do in nation building. This has not come to reality, but we thank him because we still have this leeway of celebrating World Teachers' Day. Right now as I talk, in the whole country, as Uganda National Teachers Union, we have celebrations in all local governments in this country. And yesterday, I want to thank the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, who amended the order paper to have a statement from the Ministry of Education and Sports about World Teachers' Day. And the honorable members of Parliament who made their contribution for an hour talking about the plight of the teacher. And therefore, the message that goes out is that everyone who can read and write must appreciate the teacher who touched you to make you what you are and who you are. And therefore, we hope one time, one day, this will be made a public holiday. To those who force teachers to teach on this day, I will just tell you that those do not know what they are doing. Because once you force teachers, when they are aware their colleagues are celebrating, they will not teach. And they will spend the whole week discussing the issue of stopping them from celebrating their day. And therefore, my advice is, let the teachers have this one day off to celebrate. It may not necessarily be a celebration because they have issues that are perturbing them. But getting together and sharing makes their life easier, and it relaxes their minds, and then they go back and concentrate on what they are supposed to do.
Well, the name Philbert Baguma is very synonymous, especially in the past times, with the strikes of teachers-related issues. Today we are celebrating. Are we going to see these celebrations, or we shall celebrate today, tomorrow you pick it from where normally you leave it?
It is not a strike. We have had industrial actions which are provided for in the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. When unions try to get to the employer on negotiations and making a way forward for what is not going well. When all this process is exhausted and there is no positive feedback, then we have the constitutional right of withdrawing our labor as the negotiations continue. And therefore, as long as the issues that perturb the teachers are not settled, industrial actions will always be there. Right now, as we talk, the issue of salary disparity is glaring, and it is silently and gradually killing the education in this country. And therefore, the powers that be must know that if they still want education, the right to children in this country to attend and attain quality education, they must solve the teacher's issue. If the teacher's issue is not addressed, obviously industrial actions will be there, because we must show our dissatisfaction, our discontent to the government, who is the employer, that what you are doing is wrong, so that tomorrow, in case of anything, then you don't say the teachers saw it and did not talk. And therefore, it is our constitutional mandate to make sure that the employer meets his or her obligations, and then we also get supported to do our work.
Mr. Philbert, as the president comes in, do you see anything, one or two, where you need to stand as teachers or unions and say, thank you, the government has done this and this, as we celebrate this?
Yeah, obviously, the universal programs that were initiated by this government have helped the enrollments to go to schools. Now, we as teachers are saying, you come, government, there is something that needs to be done. You have called the learners, they are in schools, but they are not teachers. And therefore, when we point out that yes, the programs are good, they have brought learners in the schools, but they don't have the teachers, then we are not demanding too much. We are only saying there is a gap that needs to be addressed, and that is what we are doing.
But one will ask, we have seen even before, when government faced up the institutions, PTCs and TCC, year in, year out, there has been an influx of the output of teachers. Why do you still say, and even the theme is highlighting it, shortage of teachers, why do you feel we still have a shortage of teachers in this country?
The teachers we are talking about is not having very many teachers, and then you say we are there. We must look at the quality of the teachers. That's why the theme is the teachers we need for the education we want. Therefore, to cover this shortage, it is not a matter of covering it. You have to look for the right quality, the right fit of teachers to cover this gap. And then we move. So, the national teacher policy has made provisions, and that's why these primary teachers' colleges have been closed. But they are going to be repurposed. But we still have 23 core primary teachers' colleges. We have 5 NTCs and other institutions. So that means we are looking now at the quality of the teacher who is going to come out to fill this gap.
Thank you, Mr. Philbert Baguma, for that insights about what we need to do. You can take up your seat, sir. Thank you so much. We are continuing with our live broadcast of this year's Teachers' Day celebrations here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. Bannaffe abatulaba ku nkutu guli ogwa Star TV twongera okutegeeza nti tukyali wano ku kisaawe ky'ameefuga e Kololo. Omukolo guliwo si mulala wabula kujaguza lunaku lw'abasomesa nga luno lukuzibwa buli nga 5 buli mwaka tukuŋŋaana mu bifo ebyenjawulo okwefumiitiriza ku mulimu amatendo abasomesa gwe bakola eri eggwanga lyattu Uganda. Mu bantu betwakogerako nabo bongedde okukittaanya nti ddala bw'obeera n'omusomesa mu kitundu oba ozimbye omusingi ekitundu ekyo kwe kinaatambulira, era abasinga balowooza nti abantu abamu naddala abo boolaba basumuuse mu bulamu balina okuba nga baayitako mu mukono oba emikono emituufu egy'abasomesa abasobola okubateekateeka n'okubafuula ekyo kye bali olwaleero. Era wano aboogezi b'enjawulo basinziira okutegeeza nti gavumenti kigikakatako okulaba nti embeera omusomesa wa Uganda mwakolera n'okkakalabya egigye erina okwongera okulaba nti erongoosebwa n'okutereera, wabula ng'ate bw'otunulira omulamwa mulimu ebibuuzo bibiri nga bwe nakutegeezezza. Babuuza nti omusomesa omutuufu oyo gwe twetaaga ate yanaatutuusa ku kiri kye twetaaga ekisaawe eky'ebyenjigiriza ekyannamaddala. Abasinga boogedde bingi nti oba oliawo ekiseera kituuse tudibye okusoma kuli abafuzi ab'amatwale kwe baaleka wano nti ekiseera tutambule n'ebyo ebiriwo kati. Okusoma kukyuse n'ensi ekyuse, tekinologiya buli omu agamba nti lyekkubo. Tukyagenda mu maaso n'okwogerako n'abamu ku bagenyi abali wano e Kololo nga bwe tulindirira omukulembeze w'eggwanga agenda okubeera omujaguzi omukulu ku lunaku luno olw'abasomesa. Well, I have been joined with some of, I think he's a teacher or a professional. He will be introducing himself to also carry on the debate we are trying to discuss and congratulating the teachers upon this milestone of this year's Teachers' Day celebrations here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. You are live on UBC and Star TV, and we will keep you posted and updated on whatever will be happening here at Kololo as we wait for the head of state. A good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
What are your names and where you come from?
I'm Kaganizo Mutesasra Evans, President General, Uganda Liberal Teachers Union.
President General, as we wait for the president, I think you get me right. We are trying to discuss, and the main discussion of our today's topic is being derived from the theme, where we are saying the teachers we need for the education we want, the global imperative of the teachers shortage. How best do you understand this theme?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think this year's theme, the teacher we need for the education we want, looks at how the teachers can bring about transformation of the education system. And we're also talking about teacher shortage. That means that we need the teachers must be available. The teacher we need must be a teacher who is well trained, a teacher who is innovative, a teacher who is relevant to the community. And for us as Uganda Liberal Teachers Union, in line with the theme of this year, we are saying that the teacher should be enterprising. What are we saying? Every teacher must have a backward enterprise, whereby that enterprise is being supported by our union, Uganda Liberal Teachers Union. We have secured 30 billion shillings to stretch over to the teachers all over the country to ensure that a teacher is innovative, a teacher is enterprising. So if he's enterprising, if he's innovative, if he's not poor, if he's not lamenting, the teacher will also transfer that attitude to the learners.
Are we looking at the context, the outcome of this? We have seen in the past where teachers are abandoning their job of teaching at school. You find them in those enterprises you are mentioning. Probably, how do you want to address this in a way that we don't affect the learning or the education system?
Yeah, thank you so much. Of course, what we are trying to look at, the education system should be productive and should be relevant to the community needs. So if a teacher is enterprising, it means the children we teach are also supposed to be enterprising. That means the education they get must be relevant to the needs of the community. So we talk about inspiration. I think one of the challenges we have is that we don't have what we call financial literacy. Which looks at the extension of the right to education. And in that extension of the right to education, we look at issues of school dropout. Some of the children drop out because the education we are offering them is not relevant to the needs of the community. Some of them drop out to go and start doing some odd jobs. So we say, if the education we are offering has the element of the enterprise development, every child will have to join the education system, every teacher will be inspired to teach, and of course the education system will be relevant. But also we are looking at, as a union, we cushion some of those challenges that the teacher will not have time to be on the enterprise. When we are organized as a team, we have a supervisory team, we have a funding team, we have an enterprise evaluation team. So in the process, the teacher will be happy at the work. We don't want our teachers who are being harassed by these financial entities, because you took a loan, a salary loan. Now you are scared not to go to class because you fear you will be arrested for salary. So what we are saying as a union, we are saying let a teacher be allowed the opportunity to develop an enterprise when there is nobody harassing him, when there is no school fees harassing him, when there is no medical bills harassing him. So the teacher will actually enjoy teaching because he has no stress at the job, he has no stress at home, and as a union, we are offering that support. First of all, funding the enterprises, but also monitoring and ensuring that these enterprises bring about economic value, and whatever is produced has market value and creates the income of the teacher.
When you look at the new curriculum, it gives more and less time. Less time to the classes. Yes, we agree we need to change now to the skills aligned timetable and curriculum. But then the question coming in, as teachers, how are we prepared to dive into this trend where we are no longer going to see physical classes happening in a school as it has been in the past throughout the whole day, throughout the whole week?
Yeah. Actually, as a union, we are also encouraging online education. We are looking at the time when we can organize Zoom classes so that classes are online and the children can learn. But also that one reduces the cost of education. The household will spend less in terms of accommodation, in terms of transport, and also in terms of accessing experts, in terms of very good teachers. Because we have been organizing trainings with teachers in Mauritius, teachers in South Africa, teachers in Turkey, so that this expert knowledge can move to the very rural teacher, a rural learner, where you may not need travel to the education centers, but also it's a challenge because we need to make sure that there is enough infrastructure going out to the learners, but also training of our teachers to ensure that they are compliant to ICT. They are able to run gadgets, they are able to operate computers, they are able to interpret information online, and they are able to disseminate and explain that information. So I think when we go online, it also reduces on the cost of education, but also develop the global perspective of education so that we don't have teachers of Karamoja, we don't have teachers of Kisoro, we don't have teachers of Kampala, we have global teachers, and actually promote the quality of education that we need. So that's the education that we want, but also training the teachers that they're up to the job. We leave those traditional methods, but also modernize and ensure that education is accessible and it's not limited to a few.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, we are still here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds where we are giving you the live coverage of what is happening here in terms of this year's Teachers' Day celebrations here in Uganda. The signs are very clear that His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is not very far in joining us, and shortly when he joins us here, we shall officially kick off this celebration, and we will let you go and share the insights as they will be happening here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. We have interacted with a section of people and you have heard their ideas. They are more promising, they are more positive towards what we are yearning towards as a country in as far as aiding the improvement of our education system. They have given insights. Then one key aspect one must put into consideration is the infrastructure. Yes, the roads have been constructed, the electricity has been extended to almost every part of this country. Then the classrooms at a certain level, we still feel there is a lot which is needed in terms of improving that issue. And we hope the President has on several occasions ably stated that the government is very committed in as far as aiding in the infrastructure development of most schools, be it government schools, also private. There is that cordial working relationship between the government and the private owners in the education sector, and government has on several occasions, even the President has maintained that as long as it is helping in the shaping and the learning of the child or pupil of the country Uganda, the government is very ready to pocket into the confines of the country and get some coins to ensure that they help the sector. Because we all believe and we have all agreed that the future of Uganda and even the world is based on the generation and the level of the education we have as a country. So as we wait to receive the head of state here at Kololo ceremonial grounds, we will continue giving you what we get here, 1 or 2 interactions, and when the president gets here, I will hand over to the live events. Tukyali wano ku kisaawe Kololo eri bannaffe abali ku mukutugulyo gwa Star TV emunyenye y'eggwanga, era mu lulimi Oluganda tukutegeeza nti tukyali wano ku kisaawe Kololo nga omukolo gwe tuliko gwa kujaguza abasomesa abawala n'abalenzi abasalawo okuyimuka ku lunaku lumu oba bbiri ne bagamba nti booka bagende bayige ogw'okuwandiika n'okuteeka ebiragiro oba amagezi mu musaayi muto. Ffenna lyekkubo mwe tuyise okulaba nti tutuuse wano olwaleero, era ng'awo ekibiina kya UNESCO gye kyasinziira ne kigamba nti oba oli awo omuntu ono wankizo era asaanidde okusosowazibwa okuba nti baateekawo olunaku luno okukuŋŋaananga nga bwe tukuŋŋaanye bwe tuti okujaguza omusomesa. Omusomesa nze naawe tumutegeerera ddala okuviira ddala eri mu buto mwe twali nti bwe twayingira ebyo bye twayita nti ebibiina batandika ng'abamu tetusobola na kwogera mu mannya gaffe, era ate abasomesa abo batutandika mpola mpola nga batulaga ekyokukola ne batusuumuusa bwe tutyo okutuuka eno gye tuli. Na bwe kityo y'ensonga eyo lwaki tuli wano ku kisaawe e Kololo, era tulindirira okutuuka kw'omukulembeze w'eggwanga, era nga tutegeezeddwa nti ono tajja kutambula yekka, ajja kubeera wamu ne maama w'eggwanga lino era minisita avunaanyizibwa ku byenjigiriza Janet Kataha Museveni. Bwe banaaba batuuse wano tujja kutwala butereevu ku mikolo egijja otandika mu butongole. Wajja kubeerawo okuyimba ennyimba z'eggwanga, okusaba, oba oli awo omukulembeze w'eggwanga ajja kulambula ku bibu ku bigenda okwolesebwa wano okuva mu bibiina oba ebibinja ebyenjawulo ebitaba abasomesa wano mu Uganda. Abasomesa abali wano e Kololo si ba Kampala wokka, wabula bavudde mu bitundu eby'eggwanga ebyenjawulo, Kampala, Ntebe. Kati nno okwo kwe kutuuka kw'omukulembeze w'eggwanga, era wanaaba avudde mu motoka ye nze nja kuteekayo butereevu olwo nange nkalire mu ntebe ntandika okwetegereza ebinaabigenda mu maaso. The signs are very clear. Just to give you a hint of what is happening here at Kololo ceremonial grounds, the president is arriving within 30 seconds because the convoy is already in here at Kololo ceremonial grounds, and when the president gets in here, we will give you and hand over back to the live broadcast and we will return later. Bye bye.
Let's stand up and receive the chief guest. The chief guest has arrived, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda and the Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet Museveni. You're most welcome, Your Excellency. Most welcome, Your Excellency, and Mama Janet Museveni, the Minister of Education and Sports. Shall we have the anthem each and the chorus of the solidarity song? For Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hands. United, free for liberty, together we'll always stand. Mungu twaomba tuilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the unions make us strong. Wafanyakazi wote tujitende pamoja. Wafanyakazi wote tujitende pamoja. Wafanyakazi wote tujitende pamoja. Tuijenge hatari. Solidarity.
Thank you so much. Can we invite Brother Augustine Mugabo, the head teacher of St. Henry's College, Chitovu, to lead us in an opening prayer.
Loving Father, as we gather here, would like to thank you for yet another year that you have given us as teachers to celebrate our day. We thank you for our leadership as a nation and the education ministry. We pray that you continue to keep this country peaceful with the right leadership. We also ask for wisdom to lead the young generation to the right direction, as your word in Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6 says, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart. Help us, dear Lord, to accomplish our tasks as teachers, because we shall account
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Leadership of teachers, dear teachers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm very thankful to God for the opportunity to address you today. I thank God for the good health He has given and security which prevails in our country. I warmly welcome you to the 2023 celebrations of the World Teachers' Day under the theme, the teachers we need for the education we want, the global imperative to reverse the teacher shortage. As the late Nelson Mandela pointed out, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Truthfully, without teachers, any nation will find it next to impossible to develop. So let us celebrate all the teachers of Uganda gathered here and in the districts, as well as teachers the world over. Viva teachers! Viva! We value you and celebrate. Thank you for a job well done. They should be able to appreciate who they are and also understand and innovate the local, national, and global context in which they live. The education we want should embrace the 4 UNESCO pillars: learning to learn, learning to be, learning to do, and learning to live from of God that we are, and our motto as a country, for God, of the importance of serving God and our country. To achieve this kind of education, which produces qualities and competencies and the values that I have mentioned above, means that the teaching fraternity of Uganda needs to reflect on how they are teaching the learners. It also means that the policymakers and supervisors of the delivery of education need to also do the same. Benjamin Franklin, a US president, once said, "It is hard for an empty sack." Similarly, it would be next to impossible to have the kind of education we want if the teachers do not work hard on filling themselves up with requisite competencies, knowledge, values, and skills. The teacher we need is one who focuses on children learning new skills, new competencies, knowledge, and values. The teachers should model lifelong learning and create new knowledge together with their learners, using the classroom as a laboratory. Teachers should be innovative and willing to try out new things. As teachers, as they teach learners, they should enable these learners to take their learning out of the classroom and use it to cause change in their homes and societies. Doing projects should not be a foreign thing to the learners. Teachers should be transformational leaders, reflective practitioners, and able to adapt to the rapidly changing world and circumstances we operate in. It is imperative that teachers are digitally literate. We are operating in the 21st century, in the fourth industrial revolution, and the world is a global village. And our learners need to have a competitive edge in the world market. How teachers teach has never been more important than now. For it to be possible to have the teachers we need, it is important that the teachers undergo a paradigm shift from fixed mindset to growth mindset, which is able to see opportunities in threats and to embrace challenges, leading to a desire to learn and a desire to change and a desire and cause change. The theme points out a critical issue, the global imperative to reverse teacher shortage. Allow me to conclude by reminding all the teachers of Uganda of what they really do. In the words of Scott Hayden, teachers have three loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first two together. Allow me to once again to welcome you to the 2023 Teachers Day celebrations. Thank you for God and my country.
Thank you so much, Professor Luboga, the chairperson of the Education Service Commission, and my former professor in medical school 27 years ago. Let us also welcome the representative of the teachers' unions, Vincent Elong, to make remarks on behalf of the teachers' unions. Vincent.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, the First Lady and Mama, Honorable Minister of Education and Sport, all the ministers present, all members of Parliament, Your Excellency, the ambassadors and heads of missions present, head of public service and secretary to the cabinet, permanent secretary, Minister of Education and Sport, and all the permanent secretaries present, education development partners, leaders of trade unions, fellow educators, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, my name is Vincent Elong, the National Chairperson, Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union, and allow me to introduce the 5 union leaders. I'm not going to mention their names. The 5 union leaders can just, the general secretaries and the chairperson can just stand up from wherever. I'm here with my general secretary, Aaron Mugaiga. Stand up for recognition wherever you are. I am reading this speech on the behalf of all the teachers' union. We represent all teachers in private schools and public schools. On this momentous occasion of the World Teachers' Day, we extend our warmest greeting and heartfelt appreciation for everyone gathered here today, and to all Ugandans. To our esteemed educators, we congratulate you on reaching this significant day. We gather here today not only to celebrate the tireless efforts of teachers across the country, but also to address ourselves to the vital issues that immensely affect the future of our national education system. I stand before you today on the behalf of all the teachers of Uganda to celebrate the World Teachers' Day, a day that honors a remarkable contribution of teachers to our society, emphasizing their pivotal role in shaping the future of our nation and the world. Before I delve into the core of today's message, I wish in a very special way to express our profound gratitude to the government of Uganda, and specifically to His Excellency, the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for taking a visionary step to improve teachers' remuneration, starting with the science teachers. The recent directive to enhance salaries of head teachers and deputies of science signifies government unwavering commitment to improve the welfare of all teachers in Uganda. This momentous decision has left a profound impact on the science teachers nationwide, standing as a testament to government's dedication to investing in quality education. We greatly commend you, Your Excellency, for this progressive action. The salary increments of science teachers, along with the recent enhancement for science ed teachers that came as your directive, much as they are not yet getting the money, not only boosted morale, but also attracted and retained high-skilled teachers in the teaching profession. This has led to improved teachers' teaching standards, directly benefiting our students, the future leaders of who are the future leaders of our nation. The surge in enthusiasm among educators and leaders serves as a positive indicator of the transformative impact of this policy. It exemplifies how targeted investment in the teaching profession can yield substantial dividends. However, as we celebrate this achievement, we must recognize that this marks just the beginning of the much needed transformation in our education sector. While salary increase for science teachers and other scientists is undoubtedly a step in the right direction towards the science-led economy, we urge and pray for government to consider the enhancement for all other categories of civil servants who have not yet benefited. And we strongly believe, Your Excellency, through your visionary leadership and directive, that as government is taking a phased manner implementation of this salary enhancement, the following financial year, we will begin the phased salary enhancement for other civil servants. We humbly, therefore, request that government-proven commitment to excellent education and motivation teaching continues until all educators are covered. We also want to appreciate government for the timely release of government grants to school this term. Let's clap for Minister of Education and all the stakeholders who have done that. These funds were received by schools in the holiday before the term commenced, and this allowed schools to plan better, and we pray that this practice continues. The education reforms that were introduced by government in our education sector, such as the policy of free education for all through UPE, USE, UPOLET, which government has continued to support, have ensured that majority of Ugandans access education. And we want to thank you, Your Excellency, for this visionary leadership. This year's World Teachers' Day theme, the teachers we need for education we want, the global imperative to reverse the teachers' shortage, addresses a pressing global issue and the unprecedented shortage of teachers worldwide. It also emphasizes the need to attract, retain, and motivate teachers and educators. These themes invite us to reflect on the intricate relationship between education we desire and the fact that teachers are essential to realize that vision. Let me talk about the education we want. In the 21st century, education stands at a crucial juncture where innovation, adaptability, purpose-driven learning guide our children. The education we desire extends beyond mere accumulation of facts and figures. It is a holistic journey that equips students with the skills, knowledge, and mindset to thrive in our complex and interconnected world. In nature, it nurtures creativity, critical thinking, empathy, and profound understanding of our rapid changing global landscape. In this context, Uganda has taken a significant step forward by implementing the new competence-based lower secondary, which is learner-centered curriculum. I want us to clap for Minister of Education for that. Because you can see the innovation that is coming up from the science teachers, and those innovations came from the lower secondary curriculum. It centers students in their learning journey, emphasizing practical skills, critical thinking, and real-world application. This transformation aligns seamlessly with the vision of holistic and forward-thinking education system. The teachers we need. In the 21st century, Educators transcend the traditional role of being mere disseminators of information. They are the linchpins of transformative education, functioning as mentors, guides, champions of knowledge. These teachers we need possess a distinctive set of qualities, competency, crucial for navigating the modern education. They are student-centered, tailoring teaching in the individual needs and interests of each learner, thereby nurturing the genuine passion for learning. They harness the power of ICT to create engaging learning experience, building communities that enrich education progress. Government's intervention. Education is a cornerstone of our national growth and development. It is a foundation upon which our great nation stands, and teachers are the architects of this foundation. Therefore, it is imperative that we address the challenges facing teachers to ensure a robust and vibrant education system. As we move forward, I humbly request government intervention in the following several critical areas. Number one, professional development of teachers. We call upon government to invest in continuous professional development of teachers. Well-trained and up-to-date teachers are essential for delivering quality education. Deliberate efforts, I beg your pardon, deliberate efforts are required to enable teachers acquire the degrees as required by the new teacher policy. We appreciate the extension of the time frame within which teachers are supposed to acquire this degree. Let's clap for Mama for extending the time frame. However, we request the government to provide teachers with the bursaries, scholarships through UNITE to enable them attain degrees without financial constraints, as many are facing economic hardship due to low incomes. Your Excellency, the idea of having well-trained teachers, especially considering from the lower level up to secondary and institution, having degrees and beyond qualification is a very good one. Guest staff from Minister of Education. However, our teachers are overwhelmed with the responsibilities. And as a voice for teachers, they have asked me to re-echo that Minister of Education through UNITE should come up with a program to ensure that these teachers who are already in public schools get some scholarship so that they can acquire other higher qualifications. Two, allow me to talk about the working conditions. Improved working conditions for teachers are pivotal in enhancing their effectiveness. Adequate classroom resources, staffing houses, safe environment, and reasonable workloads are essential for a well-being of both educators and learners. We urge government, therefore, to take more active interest in these areas. Curriculum reforms. The implementation of the new competence-based learner-centered curriculum is a step in the right direction. We commend this initiative and encourage its continuous improvement to meet the evolving needs of our students at all levels. Equity in education. We also urge government to ensure equitable access to quality education for all regions of Uganda. Disparities in education standards between urban and rural areas are continuously increasing. Students and pupils in urban areas continue to enjoy high standard of education, including quality educators and sufficient access to education materials, unlike their counterpart in rural areas. We believe the government must take deliberate steps to address this gap and create fair and inclusive system to foster a balanced society. Investment in technology. Embracing technology in education is no longer a choice, but a necessity. We call upon government to invest in modern education technology to prepare students for the challenges of the 21st century. The general teacher well-being. Your Excellency, the mental and the physical well-being of our educators are paramount. Initiatives to address teachers' welfare, including health and housing, will go a long way in attracting, retaining top talented teachers in education profession. We urge the government to formulate a policy that enables teachers to acquire decent housing at individual level. This could involve government taking over the construction of affordable, decent houses for teachers. Let me emphasize this. What we are meaning, government should take a deliberate effort in ensuring that teachers are settled at school. And majority of our schools don't have staff quarters, but also teachers, especially in urban schools, they rent and they come from far, and this is impacting on their service delivery. And we are kindly requesting ministry to engage in a twofold way, either to increase the staff quarters, or government can formulate a way through which teachers can be helped to get out of renting by coming up with a policy, maybe through SACCOs or in other means, to construct houses at a cheap rate for teachers that they can pay in terms of loan. I think if government takes a lead in this, it will help our teachers. Your Excellency, Minister of Education and Sport has a wonderful policy document which spelled out the promotional ladders of teachers serving in school upon promotion or acquiring new qualification or senior experiences. But for long, this good document has only remained on paper without implementation. I'm talking about the teacher's scheme of service. We have a document that when a new teacher joins teaching profession, Your Excellency, upon teaching for, like, take for instance, if somebody is a graduate teacher and join as education officer, is supposed to teach for some minimum years, and then after he or she is accorded a senior education status. And the policy goes further to stress that if a teacher goes ahead to acquire a master's degree in relevant field, such a teacher should attain a principal education status. Your Excellency, this policy has not been implemented. It is something which is over a decade, and sleeping in the Ministry of Education. I can say boldly that last year, Ministry of Education tried to implement partially by recruiting for the very first time 150 senior education officers who are already serving in schools. But to our dismay as representative of teachers, these senior teachers have not even accessed the payroll as senior education officers. And whenever they communicate to means of public service, much as even the salary structure, which is communicated yearly, already captures the salary scale for senior education officers and principal education officers. But the teachers carrying the appointment has never accessed their remuneration. So we are calling upon Minister of Public Service to expeditiously handle that. Secondly, in regards to that, there are also teachers in education policy that has just come. Teachers have been recommended to get degrees and higher qualification. But Your Excellency, we have teachers who have struggled on their own. Some started as grade 3 and they have moved and got diplomas. Some already have degrees. Some entered government payroll as grade 5 teachers, that is diploma holders. And they have struggled. They have moved through and they have got their degrees. And there are those who started as education officers. They have struggled on their own and they have already acquired masters. Yet there is a policy that spells out clearly how these teachers can be promoted. We are seeing this done elsewhere in other professions, but in education, teachers are being greatly demotivated from even going for further studies. So we are kindly asking you, His Excellency, through your visionary leadership, to direct the respective service commission to handle this matter expeditiously. We kindly appeal and request you. On the same note, we also have head teachers and deputies who are still serving on the acting position. Yet they are doing work as substantive head teachers and deputies, and some of them have taken years. We are also appealing to Minister of Education to take action on that and ensure that these head teachers and deputies are accorded a substantive appointment so that they can serve with confidence. Allow me to talk about teachers in private schools. While we celebrate the salary enhancement for different cadres which are coming in phased manner, the impending salary enhancement for other government employed teachers, and we must also address the challenges faced by teachers in private schools concerning remuneration. These teachers in the majority of private schools can go months without pay, despite receiving minimal salaries at a discretion of school owners, and are sometimes subjected to precarious work. We kindly need government intervention in this. We are aware there is already a very strong, vibrant department of private education in the Ministry of Education. And we are calling upon that department to take action to regulate some of these manipulative owners of private schools. We experienced a lot of disasters during COVID. Your Excellency, allow me also to address you on the need for government to strengthen maternity law to equally apply to teachers. This equally apply to teachers in private schools. We have situations where the available laws which grants female teachers right to have maternity leave, especially during that period when they are really in need, are being abused in private schools. There are schools that when a teacher conceived, it is like they have started their own problems. So, Your Excellency, I want to request the government to strengthen that law to ensure that teachers in private schools, especially female teachers, are not abused. Their rights are protected. Let me talk about Teachers SACCO. Your Excellency, the Teachers Union ran Teachers SACCO. This Teachers Union, the 5 Teachers Union, we have Walimu SACCO, which is under UNESCO. We also have Uganda Professional Science Teachers Members SACCO. We have Uganda Liberal Teachers Members SACCO. And we have private teachers SACCOs, through which teachers access low interest loans. And these SACCOs are fully registered and running. We kindly request government, Your Excellency, to support this Teachers SACCO. We appreciate you for the 25 billion that you provided for Walimu SACCO. It is essential to note that the SACCO received 16 billion shilling, with the remaining 9 billion shilling pending. The remaining 3 Teachers Union SACCO are kindly requesting you, Your Excellency. Let me emphasize. We are requesting you to intervene and support the 3 remaining Teachers SACCO, just as you've been supporting other SACCOs. Let me talk about learners. We ask government to strengthen child protection law for all learners, whether in school or not, to protect them from violence, kidnaps, and trafficking. Last, teacher shortage in some schools. Your Excellency, our schools and institutions are still affected by learners, teachers, or instructors ratio. And this directly impacts on the quality of education. Because if internationally and nationally, if the learner-teachers ratio is breached and is within the normal ratio, it allows interactive classroom learning environment, but also the teachers can effectively evaluate their learners and help those who are weak in particular areas. So we are requesting government to recruit more teachers so that we can address this gap. In conclusion, we, the teachers, reaffirm our commitment to supporting government in promoting excellence in education. As we celebrate World Teachers' Day, let's remember that education is a collective responsibility requiring a concerted effort of government, teachers, parents, and the entire community. Together, we can build a brighter future for our children, equipping them with the knowledge, skills, and values they need to become responsible citizens and leaders. Thank you, Your Excellency the President, the esteemed ministers, members of Parliament, the public for your unwavering support for teaching profession and for being partners in the noble mission of shaping the future. Inspire, empower, illuminate the path to a brighter tomorrow. Lastly, happy World Teachers' Day to you all, for God and my country.
Thank you so much, Vincent, along for speaking on behalf of the teachers. Vincent heads the Uganda Private Science Professional Science Teachers Union, UPSTU. Let us invite the representative of UNESCO, Mr. Charles Dwashebo, to give his remarks. And I also request the Commissioner for Technical Education, please prepare for the next event on the program. Charles, you're welcome.
Excellency, Republic of Uganda, the First Lady, Honorable Janet Museveni, Honorable Ministers of State present here, Permanent Secretaries present, heads of departments, heads of diplomatic missions, and Your Excellencies, the ambassadors present, the education development partners, the government officials, the leaders of the different teachers' union, the education development partners, the teachers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Dwashebo. I'm Senior National Program Officer for the UNESCO Project Office in Uganda. Your Excellency, I'm honored to read this speech, which is a joint message from the leadership of the agencies responsible for the gazetting today as World Teachers' Day. The message is from Ms. Audrey Azoulay, Director General of UNESCO, Mr. Gilbert Hugo, the Director General in the National Labour Organization, Ms. Catherine Roussel, the Executive Director of UNICEF, Mr. David Edwards, General Secretary, Education International, on this World Teachers' Day on 5th of October 2023. Your Excellency, the theme for the celebration is the teachers we need for the education we want. The global imperative to reverse the teacher shortage. And it starts with a quotation, in quotes. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher, from a Japanese proverb. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the full statement goes as follows. If we are to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal by 2030, in particular the goal of achieving equitable and quality education, we need relevant and innovative pedagogies that prepare the learners of today for the transformation needed by society in a rapidly changing world. Teachers are one of the pillars on which this transformation depends. Research has shown repeatedly that teachers are the single most important school-level variable for improving student outcomes. The centrality of teachers to the future of education was reaffirmed at the United Nations Transforming Education Summit last year, culminating in the establishment of the high-level panel on the teaching profession. This renewed focus on teachers is timely, as the world currently faces a severe global teacher shortage. Up to the Sustainable Development Goal, 44 million teachers still need to be recruited globally for secondary education needs by 2030, with 15 million of these required in sub-Saharan Africa, according to the newly released data from UNESCO and the Teacher Task Force. Rural, marginalized, and forcibly displaced communities often face the most chronic shortage of qualified teachers. The fundamental cause of this global shortage is the diminishing attractiveness of the teaching profession, which undermines the recruitment of new teachers and produces high levels of attrition amongst those in service, especially within the first 3 to 5 years of entering into workforce. Teachers can typically expect to be paid less than if they entered education, while almost finding themselves increasingly overburdened by additional responsibilities and administrative tasks. Due to these poor working conditions, teaching is often viewed negatively as a profession of last resort, in quotes, and teachers are not given the recognition and status that they deserve. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, the report from the International Commission on the Futures of Education, Reimagining Our Futures Together, a new social contract for education, recommends that the teaching profession be reimagined as a collaborative profession. To do so, it is essential to shift the way in which we perceive teachers. They should be perceived as key agents in renewing the social contract for education. Teachers are lifelong learners, catalysts for change, creators and facilitators of knowledge, and mentors who engage students and support them in understanding the complex challenges and the realities of our world today. Today, on World Teachers Day, we celebrate teachers' critical role and the great importance of reversing the global teacher shortage. We call upon countries to ensure that teaching is transformed everywhere into a more attractive and valorized profession where teachers are valued and trusted and adequately supported to meet the needs of every learner. Bold actions must be taken if we are to reverse the current decline and successful increase teachers' numbers. The end of the message, and I thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charles. for those remarks. And I would also like to recognize the Secretary General of the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO, Madame Rosia Goy. Thank you. As we get into the last part of this afternoon, I'd like to invite UNICEF representative plus 28 outstanding of teachers that were drawn from the core PTCs and one NTC. The 28, there was a competition, 28 tutors or teachers of teachers were identified, and out of those 28, 6 of them stood head above shoulders, and they are going to receive a recognition. So I would like the the six outstanding teachers out of the 28 that are going to receive the recognition of the laptop cards of UNICEF is Mr. Galandi James of Kabula Sokeko PTC, Mr. Sewanyana Teopista, Mrs. Chibuli, Co-PTC, Byarugaba Naturinda of Bishop Stewart, Co-PTC, Amute Robinson, St. John Bosco, Lodonga, Wegulo Lewis, Malinga, NTC Muni, and lastly, Ocho Joseph of Canon Apollo Co-PTC. Thank you very much. Thank you. You may resume your seats after receiving the gifts. Thank you so much, Mr. Munil. For recognizing good performing teachers of teachers, and we pray that that will motivate everyone to follow. Thank you. So let me take this opportunity to invite the Minister of State for Higher Education, Honorable Jesse Muyingo, to invite Mama Janet Museveni, who is the Minister of Education and Sports, to give her remarks, and also invite His Excellency the President. Thank you. Please welcome Honorable Muyingo.
Your Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, my colleagues, the honorable members of Parliament and honorable ministers here present, our development partners, my colleagues, the teachers who are being celebrated today, government officials, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, I've been given a very simple but very important task, and that is to invite the First Lady and Minister of Education to make her remarks and then invite you. But before Your Excellency, I invite her, allow me to make only one statement, and that is to welcome you to our Teachers' Celebrations Day. Your Excellency, your presence, we don't take your presence here just for granted. And I know very well that whenever we have invited you to be part of our celebrations as teachers, the answer has always been yes, I'll be there. Your Excellency, I want to thank you. Your presence shows a lot of profession, and we thank you very much, and we ask God to bless you. Your Excellency, allow me to also to add another big thank you for the gift of the First Lady to be our minister in the Ministry of Education and Sports. She has really handled us as her babies. Our ministry dimensions. When you are looking for gold medals, all the gold medals that come to Uganda are in our ministry. She has mothered gold boys and gold girls almost every year. We thank you, Your Excellency, for giving us the First Lady. We pray that you do give us even many more things as God enables you to. Your Excellency, may I use this chance now to invite my senior First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports to address these teachers, and finally invite you to address us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Miengo. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Honorable Ministers present here this afternoon, Honorable Members of Parliament, representatives of diplomatic missions present here, representatives of education development partners, the teachers that we celebrate today, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I extend a warm welcome to all of you as we come together once again to celebrate the national observance of World Teachers' Day. It is a pleasure to be here recognizing and appreciating the invaluable contribution of Uganda's teachers to our nation's development. I wish to extend my heartfelt wishes for a happy Teachers' Day to all educators. I'd like to thank God in a special way, who makes it possible for us as a country to join the rest of the world year after year to gather here and have a day to discuss the issues around our teachers' service in this country and how best we can improve on it. Your Excellency, I want to express my gratitude, as my colleague Honorable Miengo just said, for your presence on this special occasion and for your unwavering support and guidance to both our teachers and the education sector as a whole. your consistent response to our invitations to join in our gathering annually over the years. Today, as a nation, Uganda joins the global community in acknowledging and honoring the pivotal role that teachers play in the shaping the lives of our children. This day holds a significant place in our education calendar, dedicated to recognizing the tireless efforts of teachers in molding our lives and nurturing our children. This year, we celebrate our teachers under that theme, in quotes, the teacher we need for the education we want. A global, unquote. This theme is not only timely, but it is also highly relevant to our current circumstances. I urge all of us to take time today and in the year ahead to reflect honestly on it as we embark on the transformation of our education system. And Uganda, as part of the global community, must adapt its education system to produce citizens who are not only relevant, but also well prepared for the demands of our society. You may be aware that my ministry established an Education Policy Review Commission to evaluate our education system and define the education we desire. This process takes into account all the changes that have occurred since 1992 White Paper on Education, which has been the guiding document for our education system. Consultations are currently underway, and I encourage all citizens to contribute to this endeavor so that collectively we can shape the education we aspire to have in this country. I am eagerly awaiting the Commission's report, which will serve as a guide for the future. You are also aware that the Cabinet approved a national teacher policy in 2019 with a focus on the kind of teachers we need to achieve the desired education outcomes in our homeland. It is imperative that we are deliberate in how we train, how we manage, how we motivate our teachers to deliver quality education. The teaching profession must be properly regulated. Of pride for our country. This policy shift represents a significant government reform aimed at transforming education, starting with the role of the teacher. In the near future, I will be seeking Parliament's approval to enact legislation that will enable us to regulate the teaching profession, ensuring that we have the teachers we need for the education we desire. A new lower secondary school curriculum, as you have heard. A substantial reform in our approach to education delivery. This reform requires a caliber of teachers who are ready to change, as they will play a crucial role in realizing the full potential of this educational transformation. We rely on our teachers to implement this reform. It is indisputable that the values and the culture of a nation and its people flow through teachers to learners as they implement the prescribed curriculum. We recognize that teachers' value system, their character and behavior directly influence our children and shape them into the individuals they become during the educational journey. In their work, teachers touch every family in the country. And today, we take their significant contribution to society. This day also serves as a reminder to us that teachers of our calling to serve humanity. It is an opportunity for us to reflect on our responsibilities to our country. Our professional conduct has a direct impact on the quality of education services we provide. As we are appreciated, let us take time to reevaluate ourselves. As I have emphasized before, teachers represent one of our nation's most precious resources, and we rely on them to guide our children towards a promising future. I want to extend my appreciation now to all teacher associations for consistently bringing issues affecting teachers our attention. I also commend your willingness to engage in patient dialogue when circumstances do not unfold as expected, rather than resorting to disruption as we build our homeland together. To the teachers of Uganda, I assure you that the government recognizes your central role in education and remains committed to work with institutions management to address challenges that affect service delivery. The government wishes the best for teachers and will continue to do everything possible to ensure that teachers can carry out their duties with the utmost professionalism. Allow me now to also take this moment to express my gratitude to all our education development who continuously supported us in providing education to our people. We are eternally thankful for your support, and we pledge to strengthen this partnership as we collectively strive to provide better education for all. In conclusion, I'd like to share with you and cry to our God that Uganda sufficiently to answer to the cry of our service sectors, so that our schools, teachers, hospitals, and health workers all have their needs fulfilled. And all the honor will go back to our God. I want you teachers to please remember every day that the government does not ignore your needs, and the government will strive until all your needs are fulfilled. It is now my privilege and honor to invite the President to address the teachers. I thank you for listening to me, and God bless you.
Thank you. Sit down, sit down. The Honorable Minister of Education. ministers of state, the permanent secretary, the teachers, leaders, and the whole teaching profession in our country. The theme, first of all, I congratulate you on the Teachers' Day. Mukurukeyo. Of course, I should also inform you again that long ago I was also a teacher. But the difference is that I was not a qualified teacher. I was a licensed teacher. But I know quite a bit about teaching. Now, the theme you have here is a good one. The teachers we need for the education we want. That's very good. It summarizes really the correct approach to knowledge transfer. We have been having some scuffles over that issue ever since independence, because there are some people who looked at education as a means of copying foreign things, just copying foreign things, trying to be Europeans, trying to be what? Of course, we didn't agree with those people, and we used to have normal scuffles. And in our struggles in politics, we also, in a way, struggled against that type of miseducation. We looked at education as having three parts. Part one, the basics, the basic tools. At that time, the basic tools were reading. You learn how to read and write, and then how to count. These were basic tools. Now, the moment you master reading and counting, then the question comes, what do you read and why? We would then divide the education thereafter in two parts. Number one, the study of society. These are the social sciences, to study society. History, culture, and all that. And then the study of nature. Because when you talk of science, you are talking about studying the laws of nature and how they can be used to improve our welfare or damage it. Because all science is mainly about the laws of nature. Gravity, magnetism, electronics, all that is nature. Therefore, if you get a proper grasp of this, you will not go wrong. And you will be able to link easily with your people, where you come from. It is not correct to think that your people don't know what they are doing in the villages. They have got some very good basics which you should, first of all, know. If you go on the side of society, you find that the African societies are very strong. That's why we're able to withstand all sorts of problems. Bad leaders, stupid kings, but slave trade, and were able to survive. Other people did not survive. If you go to the Americas, the indigenous people disappeared because their society was not as strong as ours. If, for instance, you look at the customs, the fact that our families are exogamous, we don't marry within our clans, we marry outside the clans. That's a very strong practice which gave us ability to produce very strong people. Because in some other societies, they practice what they call endogamy. They marry their relatives, and then they produce, you know, it has got some biology behind it. In Runyankore, we call it obtembane. Obtembane means, I think in English, because English is a poor language, they don't have enough words. So they describe it. They say inbreeding. Inbreeding. But in Runyankore, it is obtembane. So, understanding your societies and knowing which aspects were, there were some negative aspects edited out, but there were also very, very good practices. From the social science, and then the social science should be able to help you also understand good practices that we can copy from other parts of the world. I normally I feel sorry when I see people saying they are social scientists, and yet they don't understand and copy some of the positive things that have happened in, for instance, Europe in the last 600 years. You know, there is a process in biology known as metamorphosis. That process happens normally within insects, like the butterfly. It starts with an egg, a caterpillar, a pupa, and then a mature butterfly. Now that is biological metamorphosis. But also in social science, we have been having social metamorphosis. And you wonder why all these professors, why don't you get this? Europe, part of the strength of Europe in the last 600 years has been the fact that they underwent social metamorphosis. If you go to Europe of 1400 AD, that is when they came from out of the Dark Ages, because you remember those Europeans were in Dark Ages from the time of the collapse of the Roman Empire in 450 AD. 1,000 years, they were in chaos. But when they got out in the Renaissance, initially society in Europe was a three-class society. You had the feudalists, the ones who depended on rent on land. Then you had the artisans, the blacksmiths, the carpenters and so on, the cobblers, and then you had the peasants. It was therefore a three-class society. But by the time of the French Revolution, and this is taught in part of European history, by the time of the French Revolution, 1789, that society had metamorphosed into a four-class society. Taught very well by, I don't know how you teach it these days, but the European teachers who are here were teaching it very well. And the four classes were the feudalists, like in 1400, they were still there. But now you had the middle class, a new class that never existed in human history. And this was called the middle class. The French were calling them the bourgeoisie. The bourgeoisie. And then these were a class depending on profits. The difference between the cost of input and the final price, what you call profit. They are depending on that. It's a new stratum of society. Then you had a new group called the working class, the proletariat. And then you still had the peasants. So there were four classes now. Originally three, now four. Now, if you go to Europe today, to France, and you look for peasants, you will not find them. They are no longer there. If you are looking for feudalists, they are no longer there. Society had again metamorphosed into a two-class society. Now here, in your educational system, when you say you are social scientists, you find a peasant producing another peasant. And you don't see that as a problem. And you teach. What are you teaching? Why don't you see that there is social stagnation here? And in some cases, even social regression. going backwards. So therefore, I'm glad that you are beginning to discuss these topics. The teachers we need for the educational system, teachers we want. Teachers we need for the education we want. That's very, very apt, very correct. To study seriously your society, but also study nature and its science, and then study what is positive in other parts of the world and what is negative and what we should assimilate ourselves. For instance, if you look at your people, your parents, those people were scientists. If you see how they planted muhogo, when I went to Mozambique, when I was training my soldiers in Mozambique, the people in Mozambique no longer knew how to plant muhogo. They would plant it vertically like this. I became a big teacher there in planting muhogo. I said, you people, you don't kutimba muhogo. You don't put it upright. You lie it down like this. No jirambika. Why? Because when you plant it horizontally, more nodes are in the soil. And each node is the one which produces tubers. That is science. And your people here do this automatically. Even the old women know it. The same with the emikamba. The potatoes. And your people's language is much more thorough. Because if you take seeds, for instance, you are English people. Everything is seeds. Seeds. But with the Banyankore, you can't say pumpkins. The general word for seeds is embibo. Embibo, that is for seeds. But you cannot call pumpkin seeds, you cannot call them embibo. They will send you to Butabika as a mad person. The seeds for pumpkins are entetera, specific. You can't say embibo. No, embibo is, yes, it's embibo, but this is entetera. Then you go to tomatoes. You cannot say that the seeds of tomatoes are embibo. No, that is obunya. And so on. Then you go to the seeds of potato, that is emkamba. Everything, very, very. But because I think the way some of the people got modern education was not really correct. They neglect all this. That's how the other day when the Europeans were fighting in Russians, people were, you're going to starve. Why? Because we shall not get wheat from Russia. I said, why are you eating wheat? Why don't you eat muhogo? Muhogo is here. So, For me, I'm comfortable because I am a person from here. I can add on other things from other people. And even when it came to the struggles, when we were fighting, you'd find people, they didn't know what to do. And that's why some of these people were making mistakes. People like Idi Amin, like other people. They didn't know that we, people of here, we had our old traditions, which were very strong, and we had added some new knowledge from new people, and we were much stronger. They didn't understand this. So I'm very happy. I can see that this is a good debate. Mama has appointed the other educational commission. It will report, but I think we are now coming because God, when He wanted to help us, He was in heaven there, but He said, I can't help these people well if I don't send my son to come and live with them and be ordinary like them and even be killed by those people. And then he resurrects. That's how I will be able to save them. That's how we sent His son here. So I think the educational system is now beginning to come down from heaven. And be part of us. If you do that, you are really going to save us and also save yourselves. Now coming to the management issues, the issue of teachers' grades. This one we agreed. We agreed on the issue of the teachers' grades, that I don't know if you study foreign affairs, they have got a very good system. In 1970, I had been recruited to join foreign affairs, and I got an appointment later. Oh, you have successfully concluded the interview for joining the Foreign Service, and you are now appointed as Foreign Service Officer, grade 6. Eh, said grade 6. What are the other grades? They said you go from grade 6 to grade 5 to grade 4. By the time you get to ambassador, you are grade 1. But later on, I liked the idea. You are a foreign service officer, but you have these grades. Grade 6, grade 5, grade... So this is what we told the teachers when we started talking about it. When we were meeting Birungi, do you know Birungi? The strong Munyoro girl. And Rabsheja. Rabsheja, was he not part of this? Rabsheja, Margaret, I was meeting them and we agreed that this system of grades should be introduced in the teaching service. Because in the other civil service, they have grades. You can be an assistant secretary, you can be like that. No, but the one of grades is nearer, because the other one is like a rank. But this is a grade, you are still a teacher, classroom teacher, but to grade this, to grade that, to grade that. I don't know why it was not taken up. What is the problem? Permanent secretary, what is the problem? Catherine, you are new. Those who have been there, like the commissioners, can they tell us? The ones who have been in the system. Because now you are a teacher, the only promotion is deputy head teacher and then head teacher. No, that's not fair. I can still be a teacher. I can still be a teacher, but teacher grade this, grade that, grade that. Have you heard of that, what we agreed long ago with the Birungis? Is the Birungi still part of you? You don't have institutional memory, you people. Birungi, Rwabsheja. Where's Rwabsheja? She's here with you. Rwabsheja, come. This one we agreed long ago before you became a big woman. What happened? When we met in Lugogo, do you remember Lugogo? Long ago. Why?
They tried to tell us that maybe they kept on promising, and at one point they were able to promote at least about 10 people, and it ended after 3 years.
No, I strongly advise. Thank you, Margaret, thank you. You see, because you don't listen, when you see an old man like me telling you an idea, you pay attention to it. But, bazi mulant, oya yogaraki, bas. Kare, katonda jari. But this system of foreign affairs is a smart one. You are a foreign service officer, like I had been appointed that time, but you are grade 6. And after some time, you are promoted to grade 5. This is a very smart way. Let the people study this, the commissioners and so on, and come to Mama and we conclude it so that we introduce it. You are a classroom teacher, but teacher grade this. Then after some time, how do you get promoted? Do you get promoted because of years of teaching? Do you do exam? What do you do? You should agree on that. Then you go slowly. By the time before you become an ambassador, you are already foreign service officer, grade 1. This one we talked about long ago. Now on the teachers' SACCO, I always support this. Omona reminded me to support the teachers' SACCO for the government teachers. And to pay my mabanja, because you have said I have got a banja of 9 billion. Ebanja ly'abasomesa liyinza kundeetera ekisiraani. I don't want the teachers' debt to cause me ekisiraani. Now, but also the private teachers. The private school, they are not private teachers, they are private school teachers. I need to give them something also. Mom is telling me that I did, but it never came. Money never got to you. Oh. Abaganda tugamba ekitata muyimate kimala konte. That if a cattle keeper doesn't die, even if the cows die, he will get new cows. Although the other money was taken, we shall get you new money. Now, the issue of the teacher-pupil ratio. teacher-people ratio, this is really, and the pay, this is really to do with the recovery of your country. Because what had happened is that at independence, your country had a small economy, a small island economy, enclave economy, which was called the economy of the 3 C's and the 3 T's. The 3 C's were coffee, cotton, and copper, and the 3 T's were tobacco, tourism, and trade. A small economy like this. That's how the colonial economies were. They were called enclave economies, island economies. A small island of modernity surrounded by a sea of underdevelopment. Even by 2013, your people who were in the money economy were only 32%. 68% were outside the money economy. You remember when I brought the army to distribute seedlings and so on and so forth. So because of those struggles with the economy and having so many things to do, we could not solve the issue of pay at a go. That's why we brought you the Kiekara way of working, the guerrilla way of Kamukamu Gwechi, kamwe kamwe ngo muganda. In Luo we say mot, acher. There's the way we say it in Luo. So that's why we said, you people, because of all these struggles, we are struggling to get all your economy, all your people into the money economy. And until we fully succeed, let's go slowly. So that's why we said, let's start with the scientists. Because these scientists, we need them now. We need the arts people also, but in terms of immediate need. For instance, you say, we are building roads, so that the roads enable us to build our economy more. But who will build the roads? It is the civil engineer. So if you don't have enough civil engineers, or the ones you have are not, they go to work in Kenya, they go to work, if you train them, they go to work in Rwanda, then how will you build the roads? So, yes, we need teachers for history to know what Napoleon did and what he did here, what he did there. But immediately, we need the roads. So, let's start with the roads. Then we shall see what happened to Napoleon later. But because I am a social scientist myself, but I told you the strategy of the Bayekera, of the guerrillas, how we do. When you heard that we were in the bush for 5 years, you think we were enjoying it. We were not enjoying it. We wanted to come to the town immediately, but we couldn't. So we had to go, kamwe. So therefore, that's really the logic. The logic is not that social science is not important. It is important, but what do you start with? And why? So we shall get there. Don't stampede us, and we make mistakes, and we. Banyankole call it okumemera, okumamira, okumansa, just scattering. It's better you concentrate something and you finish it, and then you move. So please calm down. We are coming. The economy is improving. We shall in the end pay all the public service better. But this strategy will help us consolidate these sectors which need science, the roads, the research institutions, the medical to keep us alive, not dying, all those. We consolidate them. Fortunately, they are. Fortunately, the number is not so big. How many? The scientists are like 15,000 or something. How many are the science teachers? Do you know the number now? But I remember it was like 20,000, all scientists of the government. So being a smaller number, we can concentrate on them and pay them well, and then we see how to go to the next step. So mtuleke, don't stampede me to make mistakes. Now, finally, teachers' housing. The correct way of housing is institutional houses. Because if you say we give you money to buy a house for yourself, then what happened to the next teacher? The next teacher, this house should be there, institutional house, near the school, so that the teachers can come and can be near the school and teach. We started with the classrooms, because you remember when we started, like I think the primary schools, we had 28,000 classrooms. Again, the approach of Kamwe go Muganda, one by one makes a bundle. Now we can start with the housing for teachers. And the mama says say that you have already started. You gift, they have already started. Will include that, you gift will include the teachers' houses near the school. So I congratulate you and I wish you good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for those remarks. So the last part of the program, we shall have the anthems in reverse order. Then we are going to have only one photo session, not three. The persons who shall participate in that photo session are the ministers of state, the permanent secretaries present, the UNESCO representative, UNICEF representative, the chairpersons or president of the teachers' unions, the 6 teachers who received the awards, and the chairperson Education Service Commission. So we are going to have only one photo session instead of 3, and those are the persons who shall participate in. They'll be ushered by the protocol team. We would like to appreciate the 25 exhibitors. Mama, we have here exhibitors from the education sector. You have Entebbe Secondary School, you have Nakawa Vocational Training Institute, and other agencies and departments in the ministry. They are at the extreme left of the tent that is being used. Unfortunately, because of time, we could not have an opportunity to see, but we toured the stalls. There's a lot to learn there. Thank you so much, the exhibitors. And Mama, this is also a remarkable moment that we had.
I wanted to just use this opportunity to say something about housing that the President said something about. We have known that for a long time there was no teachers' houses included in the school construction when universal education started with the primary and then the secondary. As the president said, the issue was to quickly put up classrooms and more classrooms and more classrooms that would accommodate the numbers of learners that were coming to school. But we realized 2027, when we started this project of UGIFT, we said we must make a decision to start construction of teachers' houses at all schools, starting with that project. And you know that with that project, we included some teachers' housing. And we said that from there going forward, whichever projects come to build more schools, they will certainly include teachers' housing at all school campuses. So we will improve as we go forward, but unfortunately, everything can't happen as quickly as we would want them to happen. So we have to be patient, but just know that teachers' housing is going to be included in all new projects going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama, for that assurance. We thank the teachers' unions for working together to come up with one single statement. We really applaud you for that. Thank you. Would like to recognize the presence of members of Parliament that are here with us. Mama, the chairperson of the Education Committee and Sports, has not been able to make it. He's feeling unwell. We have other technical officers from the Ministry of Education and Sports. The Education Policy Review Commission, Mama is also represented. We also have, is very well represented here. They have an exhibition stall, and they also have a group of students and a sign language interpreter in the audience. So once His Excellency resumes his seat, we are going to have the Solidarity song, the chorus led by Suzanne Alum. Then we shall sing the East African anthem, national anthem, the last one stanza only. DIT, thank you very much for the entertainment before His Excellency the President and Mama arrived. The chairpersons of the teachers' unions, kindly get ready to move to the other side, to your right-hand side, so that we get ready for the photos. The Permanent Secretary, Mama, clarifies that the schemes of service for primary and secondary have been received, and you have already guided that they be submitted to the top management for approval. Thank you. So the leaders of the teachers' unions that we have, there is Sasira Kagamizo Evans, the President General of the Uganda Liberal Teachers Union. We have Madame Alum Susan, the National Chairperson, Uganda Private Teachers Union. She's here. We have Mr. Elong Vincent, the National Chairperson, Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. We have Mr. Munyanisa Laban, the National Chairperson, Uganda Professional Humanities Teachers Union. Then, Mama, we also have the Secretary Generals or General Secretaries of these different unions. They are around. We have Mr. Philbert Baguma of UNATU, and the Chairperson of UNATU, National Chairperson, Mr. Zadok, is around. Kindly stand for recognition. We have Mr. Aaron Mugaiga, the General Secretary of Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. We have Mr. Mutesasira Francis, the General Secretary, Uganda Professional Humanities Teachers Union. We also have the chairperson or the leader of the National Private Teachers Association, Paul Etiang. So we shall arise for the anthems, then we get to the photo sessions. Solidarity song chorus.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the unions make us strong.
Thank you. Protocol team, please guide us. So as we guided, the ministers of state, permanent secretaries, UNESCO representative, UNICEF representative, the chairpersons of the teachers' unions, the 6 teachers who received awards, Professor Luboga, Chairperson, Education Service Commission, the Commissioner Teacher Education and Training, as well as the Assistant Commissioner Teacher Education and Training. There is only one photo session, the rest have been cancelled. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We've been requested to reinstate the ones we cancelled. So can we now have the remaining teachers that were best performing kindly go and join the team for a photo? Kindly walk a bit, don't run, don't run. Then after that, the last one which we have cancelled is the general secretaries of the teachers unions, NOTU, leader and general secretary, as well as the chairperson, Ashu. Kindly okay, the last one, general secretaries of the trade unions plus the leader of NAPSTA, the National Association of Private Teachers. Thank you. So that is the last photo shot that we had. Thank you, Your Excellency and Mama, for that opportunity to have the photos taken with those groups. Thank you, and a blessed World Teachers' Day to our teachers all over the country.
From Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. Thank you for having been part of us throughout the entire day of the coverage of this year's Teachers' Day celebrations here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda has addressed the nation and particularly teachers, where he has committed himself on behalf of the government that efforts to ensure that there is a conducive working environment for teachers in this country is going to be one of the priorities in his government as he tries to implement the 2021-2026 manifesto. He has touched issues concerning the housing facilities of the teachers, the structures themselves when it comes to the classrooms in schools, and he has given an assurance that government is going to do whatever it is needed to ensure that there is a conducive learning environment for the pupils and learners of this country, Uganda. Mama, the Minister in charge of education also did put an emphasis that the government is tracking its commitment of ensuring that there is availability of the housing units for whatever institution of learning is going to be. SACCO, which is coming on board, especially under the new setting by government, to ensure that teachers are accommodated within the premises of the learning institutions. That is the motto grounds, and we want to say we are coming to the end of this broadcast, but before I let it go, I want to just get a few of the issues, the reactions, especially from the delegates or the visitors or even part of the congregation which was here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. To begin with, there is a gentleman here on my right. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Well, the president has summarized it. What is your take home as someone who has attended this year's Teachers' Day celebration?
Yeah, my name is Paul Etiang. I am chairperson National Private Schools Teachers Association. I work in Soroti, and that's where I came from. So it was a very good celebration we have had this year, especially for our sector. We have got a promise that the money which was promised some time back is going to be followed up, and we are going to get more money for the private teachers so that the SACCOs can be supported. So that was very good information. And then he also gave us very good emphasis that when we are teaching, we need to be looking at how the societies are metamorphosing so that the education we prepare, what we are teaching the learners, should be able to solve the challenges which are facing the society. So I think that was very important that we are getting into such a time, because we shouldn't be teaching as it was last time. We should be now getting solutions for the current generation, because IT-led is where we are right now. So it was a good one, and then the First Lady was very emphatic and talked about all the things which we need to do as teachers, that we have been concentrating on other infrastructure, but it is time that we can be able to look at the teachers and others. So it was a good celebration, and I want to mobilize all my colleagues in the private sector that the service we are giving is very important, and we need to continue with that service and then unite ourselves, save, because the structures will be followed for this money to come.
Wow. Thank you. We just want to make this very short as we wind up this broadcast. Yes, a good afternoon, sir. You have attended this event from where we started in the morning up to this last dot. What is your take home?
Good afternoon, I'm Mamula Juma, General Secretary, Uganda Private Teachers Union. It has been a very bright day, very colorful and a joyous day. We are honored to be graced by HE, the President and the Minister of Education, and all the good promises they have offered. Is that the promise that has come could look like one of the previous promises that came and brought a lot of public excitement. So that the teachers out there, especially those I speak for in private schools, we need to be so much careful. This one promise could ignite confusion instead of bringing us together, and yet the best way we can get out of this is when we are working together as a unit.
What is that promise?
His Excellency recognized that the first offer of 20 billion shillings promised to private schools did not reach them because of the confusion that happened. And that confusion was shared and exacerbated by some people around us. But we need now to take this new promise. He said that he would be capitalizing SACCOs for teachers in private schools as an opportunity for us to begin with coming together, such that by the time that money comes to us, we already a one big unit and we can collectively gain from it. The problem I see is that unsuspecting audiences out there are now going to start rallying themselves to try to confuse, creating sects here and there, and that eventually can fail the whole thing. So I want to urge the teachers that we embrace unionization, because that is the framework through which teachers can negotiate. Let's embrace Uganda Private Teachers Union and be ready for the monies. But for the government, we see a serious commitment of investing in especially public education. That is so good a commitment, building teachers' houses, paying teachers' salaries and increasing them and so on and so forth. But there is one problem we continue to see. We have not seen a steady increase of quality of education, especially in public schools. So I think there is a need for government to reconsidering repurposing the money it invests in the Ministry of Education.
Wow. That is very good. We want to let's give you the last chance as we wind off.
All right.
Wes, you have heard, don't do the repetition of what your colleagues have already aired out. What is that matter you leave Kololo with, where you need it needs to be addressed within 1 minute?
Now, first of all, I'm called Munywan Sabampalana Laban, the president of the Uganda Professional Humanities Teachers Union. What I need the government to do for us is that we look at the plight of humanities teachers. Humanities teachers are also teachers like other teachers of science. So we also need enhancement in terms of salary increment.
Well,
thank you.
As brief as that, I want, on behalf of the entire management of UBC and the crew which has been here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds, we want to hand over to Nile for the normal programming. I understand there is Parliament, and we want to say thank you for watching UBC. May God bless you. I'm Robert Onyango.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Water, please. Can I pay with Momo? No. Ha. Hey, can I pay with Momo? Ha.
Here's our